What is up, you guys? It is Zach, and welcome back to my channel. Hopefully you like my new virtual background. I want to work hard because I wanted to have something in my background, right? Not just like blurred images of Nintendo stuff. I want to have like a nice visual something behind me. I don't know. Do you guys like it? Hopefully you do. If you do or don't, let me know down in the comments down below. But today, I'm going to be talking about a Nintendo Switch game that I've been playing a lot these past couple weeks. Now, personally, Nintendo Switch games, when it comes to games I play on the Switch, usually I pick them up, play them for a bit, drop them, don't play them too much, all that kind of stuff. But this game, I have been honestly addicted to. And it's not a Nintendo-published title. It is a port. Now, ports on the Nintendo Switch I always find very interesting because you have some that are very good and some that are very bad. For example, we have Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated. Yes, it's not necessarily a port, but another company took the versions for the PS4, Xbox One, PC, whatever, and, redid it for the Switch, so it's kind of a port in its own way. But that game came out, and it was a hot mess. It was buggy, textures wouldn't load, frame rates would drop. It was just a very buggy experience when it came out. But then you also have really good Nintendo Switch ports like World War Z. This Switch port runs super well, and even though the visuals can be kind of blurry at times, the most important part was that it ran smoothly and it just ran well overall. This game is a Nintendo Switch port that makes you look at other Nintendo Switch ports like Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated and make you go, why couldn't you run better? Like, the reason for Nintendo Switch ports not running well on the Switch is not because of the Nintendo Switch itself, it's because the developers aren't optimizing it well enough to make it run on the Switch. Because there are definitely games that make you go, wow, if this can run on the Nintendo Switch, anything can run on the Nintendo Switch. And that is the case with the game I'm going to talk about today, being Dying Light Platinum Edition. Dying Light is a survival horror game where you play as a GRE operative named Kyle Crane. He is sent to the remote city of Haran that has been infested by zombies to retrieve research from a doctor there that is doing research to find a cure to the virus. Now, throughout the story, you'll meet many different characters along the way. Some of them are friendly, and some of them have nothing more to do than want to kill you. As soon as the story starts, you find your friends, you find the people that you're going to be surviving this journey with, because of the fact that they actually save you in the beginning, and you owe your life to them. So you help them out, you do missions for them, you can complete some side missions for some people. And overall, I feel like the story and the sense of world building and character development is really good in this game. Like, I personally find the story and all that super engaging because mostly of the characters. The characters themselves are honestly super well written, and their dialogue is also super well written, with some real emotional punches that happen throughout the story, like characters dying, or characters getting sick or injured. I just really started to feel a lot of an emotional attachment to some of these characters, and even when some of them died, I actually felt sad. There was a moment in the game, one particular moment towards the end, where I legit got super sad, and the music of the game is also really good, and it even boosted that further because the music turned into this piano kind of thing, this soft piano in the background, and it made the situation worse for me. My emotions could not handle it after that piano started playing. It was just really sad moment, and you feel connected to these characters, and that's honestly a really good thing. Now, when it comes to the gameplay, I wasn't sure if I was going to like it at first. I really wasn't convinced that the parkour gameplay from the trailers I saw was for me. But honestly, once I got into the game, the parkour became super addicting and fun to do. Being able to hurdle over walls to escape bad situations or a big horde of zombies coming at you is super helpful. And being able to jump from roof to traverse the city in a quick manner while avoiding zombies is actually also super satisfying. So yeah, I just find the parkour to be super polished and super fluid. There were a few instances where grabbing onto ledges particularly really screwed me over, where I would just fall to my death a couple of times because my character didn't want to grab onto a ledge, even though it's a ledge you're supposed to, be able to grab onto. But other than those few instances, the parkour has always been fluid, and it really can save you from really difficult situations where you have a bunch of zombies running at you just to be able to climb a wall and just avoid it. Speaking of hard situations, this goes into the difficulty of the game. This game can be really brutally difficult. It's not a hard game overall, but it has its moments where it can get brutally difficult. But what I love is that there is an easy mode, which makes the dying not as punishing. Now, I never played the more difficult modes in the game, but I feel like they didn't adjust the difficulty of the game itself, but adjusted the punishment when it came to dying. Basically, whenever you die in the easy mode, all the enemies you killed will stay dead, and whatever you collect or any objectives that you complete will remain intact and will remain done, and you will respawn either at the last autosave or at the nearest safe house, depending on what part of the game it is. And this includes boss battles too. The boss you're fighting, their health will stay where it was when you died, and you just keep going until you get it. And honestly, that's how I like to play the game. I wanted a more chill, relaxed experience while playing the game, and didn't want something that I would just be like, oh, I can lose so much progress after every time I died. So this honestly makes the game super accessible to people. It lets the game still be as difficult as it needs to be, but without being as punishing for people who don't want that kind of an experience. And of course, for people who do want a super challenge, who do want the harder stuff, and really, for some reason, crap on people who like the easier modes, there are the higher difficulty options where you can play at a brutal difficulty if you are an absolute masochist. Now, the really cool thing about this game is that it comes with literally every single DLC, to my knowledge, that came out for Dying Light. This includes the following expansion DLC, the Hell Raid Mode DLC, the Be the Zombie Free DLC, and lots of different DLC customization options for your character, as well as other characters throughout the game, like the NPCs. That also includes a Bill from Left 4 Dead skin for Kyle, even though you really never get to actually see it. And the really cool thing about it is that all this DLC is already on the cartridge. There's no extra downloads or anything like that required. It's all there, which is super rare, actually. A lot of companies will just either give you a code that you can redeem on the eShop or all of that for the extra downloads. This just has it all on the cartridge, which is super awesome, actually. I wish more companies would do that. Now into the big question, how the game runs and performs. While it is an obvious downgrade from the PC, Xbox, and PlayStation versions, I think the game is honestly a visual treat for Switch owners in terms of the graphics. Now, while I only played in handheld mode, I cannot speak for the docked players, but I think the game actually ran decently smooth as well. But also remember, I am not a big performance guy. I'm not really big on how many FPS a game is, but I do know this game runs at 30 frames per second, but it is a smooth 30 frames per second. I know some people are like, oh, it's not 60 FPS, it's a bad game. Listen, if the game runs at a smooth 30 FPS, which this game does, I would prefer that over 60 FPS where it dips a lot, where it goes down to 30 or 40, every few seconds, because that makes the game more jittery. I'd prefer the smooth 30 FPS experience. Overall, if the Nintendo Switch is your main platform, if you are mainly a Nintendo Switch gamer, then I personally have to recommend Dying Light for the Nintendo Switch. It is a must-buy. Or if you just want a really good survival horror game that you want on the go, again, highly recommend it. Also, if you're just a Dying Light fan in general, if you've played it on the Xbox, PlayStation, and PC, but want something on the go, if you like the game so much to where you want to play it on the go, you want to have it with you wherever you go, or if you travel a lot, I still recommend the Switch version. Yes, like I said, it's not as powerful, it doesn't run as well, it doesn't look as great, but it's still a solid package, well worth the money with all the DLC. It is a must-get if you want a portable Dying Light experience. So I know this game might not be everyone's cup of tea. Not everyone likes the scary, spooky games. That's mostly a me thing, since my channel mostly is comprised of the general Nintendo audience. But I really recommend this game. It's a very solid port that I feel like should get so much appreciation. Now, the sequel, Dying Light 2, is coming to the Nintendo Switch, albeit a cloud version, but it is coming day and day with the other versions, which is super, super cool. I really hope that Techland and Warner Bros. Interactive do consider giving Dying Light 2 a physical version somewhere down the line. So that if people want the more polished experience day one, or like the better looking experience day one, then they can get the cloud version, or if people want to wait a little bit and get a physical version, they have that option as well. But what do you guys think? Let me know all that stuff down in the comments down below. I would love to hear what you all have to say. And I really hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Definitely like, comment, and subscribe. All that stuff down below. Click that notification bell if you want to be notified of when I upload videos. I kind of messed it up, but whatever. And check out the merch store. There's some cool ZakPak merch up on there for you to check out. So until next time, guys, I'll see you all in the next video.